Hey, Facebook Live friends, I want to talk to you a few moments about a very important subject, time management. As you're probably already aware, there really is no such thing as time management. Time management really is nothing more than self-management and life management. Time is the stuff of life. Ben Franklin said, don't waste it, for it is time that life is built from. Have you learned some of the techniques of so-called time management, how to manage your time? I think you need to really structure and organize yourself so that you can get the most out of the opportunities and the time that you have. The first thing that you need to do is begin to think ahead. This is when I began my morning and evening routines some time ago that really became helpful. It helps me to think ahead. The night before, I look at my calendar. I see what meetings with individuals or board meetings or committee meetings I'm going to have. And then I begin to gather all of the resources together that will help me get through that meeting. So it's a thinking ahead. And beginning to think ahead and work your way through things also helps you to plan for contingencies. Because I don't care how good of plans you write and how well you organize tomorrow. The fact of the matter is emergencies happen, the unexplained, the unexpected. We call them contingencies. And so only if you are really planning out what you're going to do you then have the wherewithal to make a contingency plan. In other words, as you're making out what it is you're going to do, these are the things I'm going to seek to accomplish. What are you going to do if that doesn't go exactly that way? You need to have a plan B. I think the other thing that learning to manage your time helps you with, it helps you to thoroughly plan. Again, as I look at the meetings that I'm going to go to, I reflect on the notes. I know what the information is that I need to provide, what information the other needs to provide, and nothing will help you manage time and manage yourself better than planning thoroughly. If you're going to go into a meeting, don't go in cold. Go in with the information that you need, focused on what it is that you're trying to get, what the results of that meeting are, and always focus on whatever the specific the specific goal is from the meeting. Never get caught in the minutia or out in the tall weeds somewhere and forget this is the reason I'm having this meeting. This is the reason I'm working on this particular project. You see, time management increases your value to others, and our rewards in life are equal to our ability to serve others. And getting getting a handle on our time. You know, this minute right now today, my friends, is the only minute you and I have. We're not promised tomorrow. I hope to be here tomorrow. I hope that you're here tomorrow. But this minute right now is all that we have. And therefore, it behooves us to use it wisely. Everything that you accomplish reflects back on your use of time. If you have accomplished some things in your life, if you have finished some projects, if you've done some certain things, even if you graduated from college, even if you went to a course, even if you've raised children, you were able to accomplish that because somewhere along the line you learned how to manage time. Here's what I think, again, time management, which as I said is really nothing more than life management, and in reality it's self-management. But here's what I think learning to develop an appreciation for wise use of time also develops. I think it develops your judgment. You're able to better know, here's what I can do in this allotted amount of time. Here are the things that I can accomplish. And by learning to use your time wisely and manage it properly, working in blocks of time, it really helps your judgment. I think it helps with the foresight, because I've been at this long enough now that I used to kind of overestimate what I could do in short periods of time, but now I have the foresight. If someone asks me to come and to do this or to speak there or to do that, I now have the foresight before I say yes to count the cost and to realize what is really going to be required out of me. How much time is it going to take? Because I've learned to manage time, and it gives me a foresight into, well, there's more to it than just saying yes. The other thing is, by learning to manage time has given me the feeling of self-reliance. I have learned, because I have brought other projects to completion, I've been able to accomplish a few things. I've been able to work through some things. It gives you a sense of self-reliance that I really can do this. God has gifted and equipped me, enabling me to do these sorts of things. And I think the next goes right hand in hand with that. As you learn to manage time and to work your way through a given situation, it gives you feelings of confidence. You know, I can do that. I have the same amount of time. That's the one area in life where we're all equal. No one has a 25 or a 26 or a 27-hour day. Everyone has a 24-hour day. And when you learn to make time count, and to when you're working, put your head down, and when you play, play hard. And when you're doing leisure, do leisure with all your heart as well. But it gives you a confidence that I do have some abilities to do these sorts of things. As you learn to manage time, which as I've said is really life and self-management, you learn to be disciplined. You know, if you have this project and this event that you're working on, that you can't really rest till you work your way through it and get it done, and it teaches you discipline. You learn the wise way to use time. I think that there are some other things that time management, self-management, leadership management helps. It helps you to be results-oriented. Even though I've spoken recently about a goal being like a treasure map, and the goal's way out, then it's marked with an X like a pirate's treasure map. You have to work your way back to where you are today. And what are the steps it's going to take from getting me from where I am right now to where I need to be? And so as you're taking these steps, if you lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing, you'll end up being discouraged and you'll give up and quit or go another direction. Always, because of time management, I'm able to keep my eye on the goal, what the results are. I think as I've learned to work in blocks of time and to put my head down and work when I'm working, it's helped me to work smarter. I think this idea that you just need to put in more time and more time is not necessarily true. It's just that when you're working, you need to work. And it gives you more energy when you learn to manage time. You know, I have these 2 hours here this morning that I can focus on this particular item at hand, and it gives you energy knowing I don't have to work the rest of my life on this. I just need to give a couple of hours to it, or a few moments, whatever it is. And then because of the energy, it automatically leads to enthusiasm. I think when you learn to manage time and work within the prescribed parameters that you've set for yourself, it gives you enthusiasm. I think it helps you to grow as a person. You cannot be a growing person if you don't learn to manage yourself and lead yourself. That's why I talk about leadership. If you may feel like you don't lead anyone else in the world, but the most important person for you to lead is yourself. The greatest victories I've won in life are not against opponents. It's against my own laziness, inertia, and procrastination. And you'll grow as a person as you learn to manage time, do the things that you're called to do, and do them with excellence. And I think learning to manage time gives you the sense you develop excellence. Don't do things shoddy. Don't just have half-hearted efforts. Don't just get done so you could say, well, I've gotten done. Learn to do things well, and the only way that I know that you can do that is to manage yourself and to manage your time. Now, all this that we've talked about, time management, I want to give you 3 possible exercises of how you can implement some time management strategies into your life. Now, you won't be able to do all 3, and you certainly won't be able to do all 3 at the same time. But pick the one that you think will help you and challenges you and will move you ahead, and work on that one. The first one is, decide today, what is one habit or activity in which, if I could just improve, would be so helpful to my life and moving my life forward? What is that one habit? I've discovered you don't really get rid of bad habits. You need to replace them with a good habit. What activity, if you began to dedicate time and working towards something, and if you concentrated and focused on doing that, what might the improvement be in your life that would turn things around and be very helpful? Discover what that is. That'd be a good exercise for many of you to do today. What habit, what activity, if I really improved on it and really concentrated on it and really worked on it, would make an impact in my life and be extremely helpful? The second thing that I want you to think about is I hear people all the time saying, well, it's trial and error, trial and fail. I tried that and it didn't work out. I tried that and it just didn't succeed, so I gave up. Quit thinking of life as trial and error and trial and failure. Think of it as more as trial and success. I have to confess today that some of the greatest lessons I have learned have not come from mountaintop experiences. It's come from the seeds of failure, sometimes almost a total disaster. And you do feel like a failure, and you do feel like throwing in the towel and giving up and all the other cliches. But I have learned if you stick with it, and sometimes you have to perform an autopsy on the failed event, and out of that have come the seeds to being able to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Excuse me. It's as if you go through this, and rather than saying this is a failure and this is an end, you can say, like Thomas Edison, I learned one way that a light bulb won't work, and I've learned one way that this won't work. And so just think of, as you go through these you're doing trial and success, because even when it doesn't work or isn't completed, or some would say it's a failure, have you learned something? Have you learned something that you can apply to other areas of your life? I could write a book on what I've learned from times of failure. And then a third one is a really odd one, but it really helped me. Back when I was really studying and trying to become a person who knew about time management and embraced the principles in my own life, and I was kind of struggling with it. It was many years ago. It was 25 years ago, probably. Out of the clear blue, while I'm studying this and trying to implement these principles in my own life, a woman contacted me and said they were going to have a women's meeting, a women's leadership meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana, and could I come and speak on time management? I have no idea how she got my name or how she even knew that I was interested in the subject. But she said, would you come and speak on time management? And I have no idea, but I have some idea. She had no idea how I was struggling with that in my life at that time. But I had 2 months, and I agreed to come and speak and give a seminar on time management principles. And I studied, I read, I compiled, I put together beautiful slides. I had handouts and fill in the blank, page after page, and I just put it all out there. And the day came and I went to Indianapolis, and I spoke at this ladies' conference, women's conference, on time management. I spoke for nearly an hour, and I had the handouts. I did all of those things. I don't know that I helped one lady at that conference, but I helped myself immensely, because I have discovered, as you prepare to teach something, as you prepare to help others learn a subject, you really learn. It's like I've told pastors down through the years, if you want your congregation to catch a cold, you better have pneumonia. And so I have discovered that the best way to learn a subject is to prepare to teach it. And I think that's when it really took a hold in my own life. So what is the thing that you're really wanting to learn? What is the thing you really need to improve on? Maybe you need to offer yourself free of service to some group to say, hey, I'd like to come to your group, your club, and speak on whatever the given subject. Every 2 years, even in the position that I'm in, I teach a course that all ministers that are going to be ordained in our denomination have to go through. I've taught that course now probably 8 to 10 times over the years. And there's not a time, and I'm getting ready to teach it this fall, there's never a time when I teach the class that I don't learn something new. So whatever it is that you're trying to get better at, offer someone to teach a course, to give a speech, to talk about it. I guarantee you, you take that in, that will help you immensely learn the subject. So again, remember, when you learn to manage your time, it will help your judgment. You'll be able to discern things better. You'll have greater foresight. You'll know how much effort it takes to accomplish things. It'll make you a much more self-reliant, confident, and disciplined person. Gives you energy and enthusiasm. And always remember, you're there to get something done. This is Dr. Ron speaking to you. I'm on vacation, but it's given me a wonderful opportunity to have these little sessions with you. And I'm going to pray that God will help you to manage your time, manage your life, and manage yourself so that you can make a difference for His glory. Have a great and blessed day, my friend.